line. My pocket just vibrated, so it gave me an alert that I'm live. So, okay, and everybody can hear me.
Mention them. Hey James, do you want me to mention all these just right off the top as well?
Go ahead.
Run them all down.
Yeah.
Is that primitive oldie crow? Is that how you say that?
Primitive old crow.
And what do you want me to say? Just streaming live on Sounds Like Video Facebook or?
Just do your thing, man. We're live.
And good evening, everybody. From Lakeland High School tonight, we welcome you into a little high school basketball for you here on James Hinkle Sounds Like Video, streaming live on Facebook tonight. We've got doubleheader action coming your way here from Lakeland. We've got the Lakeland Lady Vikings in action here first tonight, as though going to be taking on the Fair Play Lady Hornets, and then of course we'll have the boys game for you as well tonight. That'll be coming up a little bit later on. They've got some JV action in between, and we might stream some of that as well. But it's also homecoming night here this evening at Lakeland High School, so a crowd continuing to make their way in, and it should be a fun night for basketball here this evening. We didn't really know at first if these games were even going to be played tonight. Lakeland actually did not have school this afternoon due to the weather, so there was a little bit of concern that there'd be a little bit too much ice out there on the roads, but things actually turned out not to be too bad. It really just rained a little bit this afternoon and the temperatures warmed up, so both these schools got together and decided to go ahead and say, hey, let's play basketball tonight here on this Friday night. So that's good for both schools, and certainly you don't want to miss as many games as you can afford at this point in the season. Once you get here into the second half, everybody wants to play as much as they can before we get ready for district play. But we're glad to be bringing you special coverage, and we will continue to cover Lakeland right here on the Facebook page for James Hinkle Sounds Like Video, and we want to thank all of our sponsors as well, and we're going to cover some more Lakeland games as we go through these final months of the season, and we'll tell you about those here in just a moment. But we want to thank Primitive Oldie Crow, Oak Star Bank, the Landmark Restaurant, Jim Risick. Also want to thank Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, C Squared, Hobby Time Motorsports, Bernard Tax and Bookkeeping as well. So we want to thank all those guys for coming on board here and allowing us to be able to bring you some Lakeland basketball this year. As my partner James Hinkle, well, he started to put on his headset. He's doing double duty here. He's getting all of the audio and video worked out here. So he'll be joining me in just a moment. But these Lakeland teams having a good season again this year. Of course, the Lakeland boys made that long run into the playoffs last season. Actually got to the semifinal round. And, of course, the Lakeland girls made it to the state round. They ended up falling in the state semifinal and in the third place game. But it was still a great run for Coach Cooper's Lakeland Lady Vikings. And this is a big game tonight for the Lady Vikings against this Fair Play team that comes in here tonight with a record of 2-8 on the season. So Lakeland will be favored coming into tonight, just going by schedule, but you never know until you play the game. Certainly Lakeland Lady Vikings lost several key players off of that state qualifying team last year, but they still have a 5-7 record this year, although they played a pretty tough schedule. They've also lost some close games as well. So big game tonight, James, for Coach Cooper's Lakeland Lady Vikings, and then certainly the Lakeland boys coming in at 10-1. So should be a pair of interesting games here tonight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is James Hinkle. I'm actually responsible for this video broadcast. I want to thank Spencer for being here tonight, and also all of our sponsors. This is our very first game here at Lakeland High School. The counter is counting down. They're going to start in about 40 seconds. So it is also homecoming night as well. I've got Stacy Hinkle, who just walked in here. She will be producing tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And while I've got your attention, and we're probably going to set up and do the national anthem, but hey, while you're listening, go ahead and hit that share button. We want as many people to enjoy this game as possible, and it is homecoming. I know the weather wasn't great, and we know that some people could not make it. And here we go with the national anthem.
All right, and a very nice national anthem here at Lakeland High School. And we're just about ready for basketball here tonight in our first game, as we've got the Fair Play Lady Hornets in town. And take a look at their starting lineups here right now. Starting at guard will be number 2, Emily McDougall. She is a senior, followed by number 10, Kyler Welch, a junior. And then you've got starting at the other forward tonight for Fair Play, number 15, Simona Kaduka. She is a senior. And then starting at forward will be Abby Grove tonight as well for Fair Play. She is a senior. And then you'll also have starting in there at the other forward, Lexi Simpson, another senior for this Fair Play team. And they are led by head coach Alicia Mercer. And now we'll give you a look here at the Lakeland Lady Vikings starting lineups. Starting at guard tonight for the Lady Vikings will be Kinsey Shoemaker. Then you'll have Stella Cordray starting at the other guard spot this evening. Then starting at the other guard spot will be Shelby Bergschneider. And then starting at forward tonight for Lakeland will be Madison Thompson. And rounding out the starting 5 tonight for Coach Justin Cooper's team will be number 23, and that is Paige Thompson. So Lakeland, again, last year, of course, had several players that graduated off that state qualifying team. One of those, of course, was Annie Swatters. And Annie, of course, a lot of Lakeland fans will remember her for a long time. She was an outstanding player for this Lakeland team and, of course, scored over 1,000 points in her career as well. So that's one of the tough things about high school sports, certainly, is you lose some of these great players due to graduation. But Lakeland has a lot of good young players in the program, and they are showing why Coach Cooper was really excited, again, about this year's team. So we are underway here tonight, again, streaming live on James Hinkle Sounds Like a Video Facebook, and we are going to be covering some more Lakeland games as we move along in the second half of the year. As a shot in the corner by Bergschneider, no good. Nice rebound, though. Cordray missing the putback, and then we've got a foul inside. It looks like we're going to get an over the back here. Well, no, actually they said that was deflected out of bounds. Last touch by Lakeland, so fair play with their first possession. And here comes the full court pressure by Lakeland. And Fair Play able to get it across. They do a good job of getting the ball to the middle of the floor there, but then the pass goes off the hands and out of bounds. Kyler Welsh, so it's going to be going back over to Lakeland here. A couple of turnovers on both sides to start with 7:27 to go here in this opening quarter of basketball. Lady Vikings set it up top. Thompson, high post now. Bergschneider back to Thompson. Good kick out. 3-ball Cordray, missed it, and it's going to go out of bounds. Back over to Fair Play. So as I mentioned at the top there, Lakeland's played some pretty good teams this far and have actually lost some close games in the WeMo Conference. Lost a close one to Montrose early in the season as they break the press again this time. Shot up and in off the glass. Nice shot by Lexi Simpson, and she'll have the first two of this game for Fair Play as they take a 2-0 lead. 6:50 to go here in the first. Cordray into the front court. High post for Madison Thompson, and she is one of the key returners this year for this Lakeland team. Had a big season last year. Averaged about 20 points a game as we get a whistle and a foul here. Our first foul of the night. And over the back will be called this time on Lakeland. And looks like they'll give that foul to Shelby Bergschneider. So that'll be her first team foul, 1. And a good trap there in the backcourt as they get the steal out of the pressure initially, but then a foul is called. I think that actually probably saved a layup. Thompson had the steal, but the foul was committed there and prevented her from getting the shot. So they give the foul to Simona Kaduka, her first team foul, 1. Lakeland to throw it in here underneath. Shoemaker right side to Thompson in the corner. Will kick out. Now back up high, Shoemaker. And Madison's one of those players. She is a good inside-out player. And here you see can shoot the 3, but missed it just short that time. Rebound to Fair Play. Quick push back the other way. Good pass there inside, but Simpson misses the shot off the glass. So still a 2-0 Lakeland lead, or a Fair Play lead, I should say. 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Skip pass, Shoemaker in the corner, shot up from the baseline, no good. And Fair Play able to claim another rebound. And they'll bring it up here to set it up in the half court. Lakeland a little 2-3 extended zone here. They push it out a little bit on the wings. And Grove, her pass is out of bounds, and they're going to say last touch there went off of the foot of McDougal. So 2 turnovers for Fair Play, and Lakeland going to have it back, looking for their first basket of the game here. Trailing 2-0, 5:40 to go in the first. Cordray, Shoemaker, nice lob. I think that was intended for Bergschneider, but it goes over her head and right into the hands of Thompson, and she says, I think I'll take that, and put it in for 2. And now a bad pass, and there you see that Lakeland pressure forcing Fair Play to hurry things up, and they force a steal out of it again. So 3 turnovers here for Fair Play, and I think that's going to be a big advantage here tonight for Coach Cooper's team. Get some turnovers off of this press. They've already forced 3 early ones. So here's Shoemaker. Good feed inside Bergschneider. Shot up and in off the glass. So a nice little reverse layup there for Shelby. And that'll give Lakeland their first lead of the night. It's now 4-2. 5 minutes to play here in the first. And now a deflection and another near steal by Madison Thompson. And in the backcourt here, they get it across, break the pressure, shot up Simpson, missed it. But now we get a foul called, and foul is going to be whistled here inside on Lakeland. We'll see who they give this foul to. And it's going to be inside there, looks like on Bergschneider. So that'll be her second, team foul number 3 on Lakeland. First free throw of the night for Fair Play here is good for McDougal, so that'll make it a 4-3 Lakeland lead. McDougal's second shot, no good. Rebound Thompson. And she'll push it the other way. Cordray with it up top, little crossover, and now pass is or dribble, I should say, knocked away, and now we get a jump ball. So jump ball possession arrow is going to favor Lakeland here, it looks like. And it's going to be Lakeland ball underneath. Shoemaker will be throwing it in. Gets it in. Good kick out. Cordray, open shot, missed it. Rebound to the Lady Hornets inside. So Lakeland up by 1, 4:30 to go here in the first. They forced 3 early turnovers. And now they go up top here, high post look. Looking inside, McDougal gets it over to Grove. Shot missed, and now a jump ball underneath. So tie up will be forced there by Lakeland. Possession arrow, though, is going to keep it with Fair Play. And good shot inside to get the look they wanted right off the inbounds as Grove gets it to go. And Fair Play back on top, 5-4, 4:10 left here in the first. Shoemaker right side with the dribble. And pass a little errant, tried to get it out there to Shoemaker, or to Cordray, and it goes out into the backcourt. So that'll be a backcourt violation. And Fair Play with the ball back here. Four minutes left in the first. Good pressure out at midcourt. Thompson deflects it into the backcourt, but that is tipped. So Fair Play allowed to touch it. Now good pressure here. Cordray knocks it away and almost got the steal. Boy, nowhere to go for Welsh, and fortunately it deflected off of Bergschneider. So the Lady Vikings back on defense here. They'll reset outside. Lady Hornets, though, another near turnover. Well, they will say it's off Fair Play last. Grove last to touch it that time as they tried to kick it out. So good pressure here for Lakeland. Already 5 forced turnovers in this ball game. And trailing by 1, 3:35 left in the first. Left side, Thompson, nice dribble drive into the lane with it. Lost the dribble, and now it's loose on the deck. Good hustle. Shoemaker that time able to dive there and force the jump ball for Lakeland. So Lady Vikings will maintain possession. Trying to get this lead back. Shoemaker on the baseline. Oh, they're going to call her for the travel there. She came over the line. So that'll be the second Lakeland turnover. But this full court pressure really has bothered Fairgrove thus far. They've had a tough time getting it across. And now a steal by Paige Thompson. But then they call her for the travel, looks like. So they will give it right back to Fair Play. 2-2-1 press. Here again, making Fair Play work. Grove left side, going to throw it up into the front court. And shot up and in. Nice shot by Welsh as they're able to beat the pressure that time and turn it into 2. So 7-4, Fair Play extends the lead with 2:50 to go in this first quarter. Shoemaker right side, weaves her way through the pressure. Now a foul is called. Out on the perimeter, out on the right wing, looks like. Blocking foul on Fair Play. And they're going to give this one to McDougal. Now off the inbounds here. Bad pass goes out of bounds, so Lakeland's going to give it right back, and this is going to send it back to Fair Play here. So missed opportunity for Lakeland, but now they get another steal. Thompson the steal, misses the shot, gets her own rebound there. Missed the finish, though. Shoemaker able to reset it outside. Back outside, here's Cordray, head of the key. Thompson to Shoemaker. Back to Stella, going to take the 3. Open look, but missed it short. And the rebound to Fair Play. McDougal gets the board. And her pass, though, goes off of the hands of Grove out of bounds. So the 7 turnovers, James, right now have really hurt Fair Play. And I think Lakeland would probably feel like they could be ahead by even more, even though they forced these turnovers, but they find themselves down 7-4.
Well, you know, you mentioned at the start that this is a young team, and that's absolutely right. If memory serves me correct, there's not a single senior out there.
Yeah, very, very young squad, and they get a good look here of 3, just a little short, though, by Wilkins, and here's a long carom on the rebound. They track it down, though. Good job by Welsh, and now she'll take the 3. Missed it well short. And a nice rebound by Shoemaker. So still a 7-4 Fair Play lead here as we come down to the end of the first quarter. They go high post here. This is Brett Frost trying to drive for Lakeland here. And they call the foul on the floor. They're going to give a hand check foul here to Fair Play. And they give that over to Welsh. So that'll be her first. Both teams now right at 3 team fouls as well in this first quarter. Low baseline look inside. Frost missed it right at the bucket. Had a pretty good look, though. Fair Play, they've done a pretty good job rebounding the basketball thus far. And here's a 3-ball. Good look, and it goes down. So big shot for the Lady Hornets. Lexi Simpson knocks down the triple. And largest lead of the game now here for Fair Play as it's 10-4.
Yeah, that came from way outside. I mean, she wasn't even close to the line when she shot that, too.
Shot that one from Clinton there. That was a long ways. So here's McKenna Wilkins out to Shoemaker. She'll take a 3. That missed. And ball loose on the deck here. Battle for it. Picked up by Fair Play. Under a minute left now in the first. So we'll see if Fair Play takes his final shot of the quarter. They get it inside and had a decent look. It's knocked out of bounds. Good job by Lakeland. Had a couple defenders around the ball there. Made it tough as Wilkins inside along with Paige Thompson. But Fair Play will keep it underneath. 36 seconds on the clock. They get it inbounds. Left side. And there's a steal. Good read. And stolen away. Frost with the steal. And, oh, tough break as they called the travel before the shot went in. Slid that pivot foot just a little bit right before the shot. So tough break for Lakeland as that looked like initially it was going to be a steal and a layup. 20 seconds to go. They get it across. And here's a look inside, but it's stolen away again. Nice play made by McKenna Wilkins back the other way with it. But she's called for the travel. So 2 times there, James. Lakeland just got in a little bit too big a hurry, and those were pretty much identical plays on the travel.
Yeah, she had an opportunity. Both of them had opportunities there to score, and just, you know, young team, a little bit of inexperience. But one thing that I see that these girls are doing is they're playing with a lot of passion. They're playing with a lot of fire, and that will suit them well in the coming years.
That is for sure. So shot no good there right at the end of the half as they were able to dribble out of the double team, but shot did not count. So after 1 quarter here in our girls matchup tonight, 10-4 in favor of the Fair Play Lady Hornets. And James Hinkle, Sounds Like Video, pleased to be bringing you coverage here of Lakeland Lady Viking and Viking basketball. I want to thank Primitive Oldie Crow, Oak Star Bank, Landmark Restaurant, Jim Resick, Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, C Squared, also Hobby Time Motorsports, and Bernard Tax and Bookkeeping for supporting our coverage here.
Speaking of Bernard Tax,
little
the games start. Yeah. The games started at different times, and they were originally scheduled because of weather and also because it's homecoming. And our producer, Stacy Hinkle, who works at Bernard's, walked in literally as the game started. But she made it. Appreciate her a lot. She actually gets off work at 5 o'clock and was able to make it here at 5 o'clock. Now, of course, she works there in Clinton, Missouri. So want to appreciate her for that. Without her, none of this would be possible. So.
Well, you guys put a lot of time and effort into this, and wish people could see all the equipment and gear it takes to set all this up. And, of course, you were telling me before we went on, you were here over an hour early, and it takes every bit of an hour to get all of this set up as they come out here to start the second quarter. Good shot in the lane, but just missing from Thompson. Cordray had a shot at the putback, but there's a nice deflection right into the hands of Shoemaker. She'll give it back to Thompson, and she'll nail it from the left side. So that's what Lakeland's got to be able to do. They got to get Madison Thompson going. She's their best player at both ends of the floor, and there she gets a steal. Good read, and will take it all the way in and get it to go. So that's exactly what you wanted for Lakeland. Get her a couple quick baskets, and Coach Mercer for Fair Play is going to have to take a quick time out here. So just like that, James, Lakeland right back into this game. All of a sudden it's back to 2 with a lot of time left here before halftime.
This young team has actually had a lot of success. They went down to Wabalo and got into the championship. They ended up losing to Wabalo, but a team that's made up of juniors and sophomores and freshmen was still able to make it to the final game.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big accomplishment, and certainly, as we talked a little bit about at the top of the broadcast, you lose, the core group of players like they did off of last year's team that went to state. Of course, we mentioned Annie Swatters, but also Tracy Munsterman as well. She was a big loss to graduation, one of the key players for them. So it's been kind of a little bit of a rebuilding year, but still, as you said, they've been competitive, and they definitely were competitive down there in that Wabalo tournament. See if I can bring up the schedule, but they've had some close losses as well. But now, as you get a little bit later into the season, now we're into the second part, I think Coach Cooper feels like they're starting to gel a little more, and you get more time, more games under your belt, and you're definitely going to be a little bit more comfortable. So Fair Play with a 2-point lead will have the ball out of the inbounds look. They're going to take a 3-point attempt, and it goes down. So that's the second three of the ball game by Lexi Simpson, and it gives Fair Play a 13-8 lead.
And once again, she shot that way from the outside.
Yeah, she's got some serious range. Here's McKenna Wilkins knocking one down from the right baseline. So nice shot there for Wilkins. Her first two of the games, right back to a 3-point contest.
That three-pointer that she shot from the outside there, that would have been good in a college game.
Here's a steal. Cordray gets it to go on the open layup, and Lakeland, they have hung in here tough and have cut this lead down to 1. As Fair Play has struggled with the pressure defense, but have been able to do just enough on offense. But now here's a steal again, so that'll give them 7 turnovers. Nice play by Shoemaker to get the steal, but her pass up the floor knocked out of bounds as she was looking for Bergschneider. But this Lakeland team, they lost that close one to start the year to Montrose, 69-62. They got beat pretty badly by Leeton, 67-24, but Leeton's usually pretty good. Jasper beat them in a close one, 48-34, and then lost to Osceola as well, 46-36, and then lost a couple tough ones to Wabalo, as James mentioned, as they get a couple steals recently here. You look at the last couple minutes, and they've gotten 2 steals in the last minute. But here, Fair Play able to get a steal off the inbounds, and now at the other end, we got a battle for it. And we're going to have a jump ball on the deck. Possession error, I think, is going to give this over to Lakeland, though. Lakeland has wins over Marion C. Earl. Beat them 52-37, beat Ballard 62-23. Those were the 2 wins that James was mentioning there in the Wabalo tournament. And then beat Rich Hill 56-47. Of course, Lakeland plays in the WeMo Conference, which is traditionally a pretty competitive basketball league on both the girls and boys sides.
Well, you've got a lot of teams in the WeMo Conference that don't have football. So, they naturally gravitate towards basketball.
Yeah, that definitely makes the basketball coaches happy when they don't have to worry about a bunch of their kids playing football as well. There's a nice shot in the corner, and that's going to go down as a 3 for Cordray. So that's going to give Lakeland their first lead of the game. And now a steal from Cordray. Gets it to Thompson. Shot up off the glass. Just couldn't quite get it to go. Oh, but she gets it right back.
Oh, nice steal. That was a nice steal.
Just threw it right back to her, and she'll score it. So Thompson's starting to warm up now with 8, and it's a 17-13 Lakeland lead. Under 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Oh, and there's a travel. Yeah, no doubt about it. Didn't know if they were going to call that at first, but that will give it right back over to Lakeland. So you figure right now with all these turnovers that they forced, you'd think Lakeland would have a bigger lead, but really the difference is those 2 3-point shots that Fair Play's been able to knock down. That's kept them just in front, but now just behind is Lakeland trying to extend the lead. Thompson, good look, missed it, gets her own miss though, back up with it, and gets it to go. So Madison Thompson, that's 3 straight buckets for her. That'll get her to 10 points now already to lead Lakeland offensively. And it's a 19-13 Lakeland lead. They've just steadily clawed their way back, and they're almost another steal against the press, but they get it back. Here's a shot, Welsh missing the 3. And a nice rebound by Thompson to Bergschneider. They'll push the tempo here a little bit. And Wilkins in the corner. Little shot fake there. Missing the shot. Thompson going to drive it back inside. Good move, but missed it. Left it just short. And here's Welsh the other way. And almost stolen right back. Good hustle by Shelby Bergschneider. Almost got it back on the steal, but Fair Play going to maintain possession.
You know, the first quarter definitely went to Fair Play, but Lakeland has definitely dominated in this quarter. And we still got 3 minutes and 48 seconds left.
Oh, and there's a tough break. That's going to be a foul on Bergschneider as she fouls Simpson, who's been pretty much unstoppable offensively for Fair Play. She's knocked down a couple threes and leads them with 8 points. So that's going to send her to the line for 3 shots. And that is foul number 3 already on Shelby Bergschneider. So that's a tough break there for Coach Cooper's team. Bergschneider is probably going to have to come out of the ball game now here for a little bit. 3:45 left in the first half. So 19-14 now the deficit. Second free throw good by Simpson. So that's going to get Brett Frost back into the game here for Lakeland for Bergschneider, who has to come out with the 3 fouls. And third free throw here. That one rattles in there for Simpson, and that gets it back to 19-16.
She hit all 3 of those.
Here comes Wilkins. Cordray, high post, good move here. Thompson in the lane, rattled out. And rebound going to come down into the hands of Fair Play. So they try to get it across against this stifling pressure. And be a backcourt violation. Great pressure by Thompson, and that's the advantage she gives you out there with that length. She can come out and really pressure the basketball. And definitely plays like a guard, but can also go inside and score. And she's got it in the corner here and was really a big-time player for this Lakeland team as a freshman. So she's had a lot of varsity minutes already in her young career. Here's a turnover inside. I think they're going to get Frost for the travel. So that's going to give it back over to Fair Play. 5 turnovers now on the night for Lakeland. It's still leading 19-16, coming up on the 3-minute mark here in the first half. They get it across the timeline. Simpson got to be aware of where she's at all times. Welsh thought about the 3. Oh, and a nice play. Cordray on the steal, and now a whistle in the backcourt. It's going to be a foul coming up here on Fair Play, it looks like.
You know, I'd have to say that Fair Play and Lakeland here are very evenly matched. I mean, they're playing toe-to-toe.
Yeah, no doubt. It's been a very, very close game. Neither team has led by more than 10 as Thompson had a decent look, but just rolled off the rim. But I think they're going to say that was knocked out by Fair Play last, so Lakeland's going to keep possession. Frost will be throwing it in down on the low baseline. Lobs it out for Cordray. She's had a nice first half as well for Lakeland with 5. Here's a good entry into Frost, and she'll score it. Her first 2 of the night.
Very well executed there.
That's exactly what you want, right in the low post on that inbounds look. So 21-16, Lakeland extends the lead after they trailed pretty much that whole first quarter. And now a shot at the other end missing by Simpson, but that's going to draw a foul. And she'll be going to the free throw line here for the Lady Hornets.
Yeah. We're seeing Lakeland doing a full court press, and it is actually, I mean, I would say that it's working because it's kind of got Fair Play on their back heels, and Lakeland has been able to come back and take the lead.
Yeah, it's been a big reason why they've been able to force 13 turnovers already. So that definitely, I think, something Coach Cooper going to probably stay with most of this game. As Simpson missing the second free throw, but they're able to get the rebound. Welsh able to get it off that missed free throw. Now we get a foul along the baseline. And I think they're going to give this one to Thompson. Yeah, it's going to be a push on Madison. So that is going to be her 3rd foul. Wow, that's a big one for Lakeland because they've got to have her on the floor. She accounts for most of their points, so she's going to have to come out. So you've got her and Bergschneider, 2 of your key starters, both with 3 fouls now. That's a 6-team foul on Lakeland. As Fair Play, good look here underneath, but not finishing the shot is McDougal. And Lakeland able to come out of there with the rebound. Shoemaker left side for Thompson up top now. Megan Call into the game now for Lakeland. Here's a nice dribble drive to the basket by Paige Thompson, but a foul is called underneath. And they're going to give 2 shots here to Paige Thompson, the guard. No, I thought they were initially, but I guess they're going to say that was on the floor, so Lakeland's going to have it underneath. Really looked like that could have been a shooting foul for sure, but Shoemaker back outside here for Cordray. Thompson left corner, nice skip. Shoemaker, good pass into Call, but missed a shot right at the basket. Rebound to Fair Play. So that's really been the only 2 parts of this game where Fair Play's had a little bit of an edge, and that's the three-point shooting and the rebounding, as they've out-rebounded Lakeland at both ends of the floor thus far. Here's another 3 by Simpson, and she gets another one. So I think that's her 4th 3 of the ball game, so she's single-handedly keeping Fair Play in it. And again, showing that range as well, James.
They're going to have to figure out a way to defend against that.
That cuts it to 21-19, and now here's a missed shot at the other end for Lakeland from Thompson, and Fair Play able to get another defensive rebound out of it. And here comes Simpson the other way as we come down to the end of the first half. Dribble drive, right side. Welsh cut off on the baseline. Good defense there. Force her to kick it back out.
34 seconds left.
Got some time. Here's Welsh. Good look at the 3, and she buries it. Nothing but net.
There's another one of those.
So they've hit 6 threes in this ball game. Second one by Welsh, and that puts Fair Play back up by 1, 22-21. So a late run here for the Lady Hornets right at the end of the half. Cordray, she'll try a 3. Good look and gets it to go. Got the roll.
That'll give Lakeland the lead back.
Boy, back and forth ball game here at the end of the half as Cordray almost had to steal again there. She's got 4 steals tonight already.
3 seconds left on the clock.
Not a lot of time here, so Fair Play is going to have to hurry and get this ball up the floor. Got to get it full length. Simpson, and they're not going to get one off, so good defense there by Lakeland at the end of the half. So we got an exciting ball game here at the half. A lot of offense, especially in the second quarter, and it's 24-22, a slight lead here at the break for the Lakeland Lady Vikings.
All right. While we're going into halftime here, I just want to thank our sponsors, Primitive Old Crow, Oak Star Bank, of course, a fan favorite around here, the Landmark Restaurant, and then Jim Rasick actually came on this morning as a sponsor, so give a big thanks to him. And then, of course, our timeout sponsor is Missouri Farm Bureau.
We didn't have any timeouts, James. I just now thought of that in that first half. It went by so fast.
Yeah.
No team actually called a team timeout, so that's pretty rare.
No, they did not. And and you know, one thing I'm going to mention is that these sponsors make this all possible. And if you tuned in to the Wabalo Lakeland game, you would have heard me say that when we went and did that game, we had no sponsors. We literally showed up just because we had so much demand, and so many people would send me so many messages say, hey, can you cover this? Can you cover Lakeland? They're doing so good. So we just went and we did it, and because of all the excitement, I mean, you see the list of sponsors that have come on board, and, you know, Lakeland is a big part of that. The coach, or the boys' coach's brother at Farm Bureau actually came on board. Of course, he said, of course I'm going to support my brother.
Put him in a tough spot there, did you?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we got, and as you said, James, we got some other games too, I think that we're going to try to do here. But our next action for Lakeland will be on January 24th, so that's next Friday, and that'll be a home game. We'll be back here for that one against Archie. And then Tuesday, January 21st, we'll be up at Appleton City. And again, all these games are boys and girls doubleheaders as well, of course. And then Tuesday, February 4th, we'll have a home game coverage here for you as they'll be hosting Cass Midway. Friday, February 7th, they'll be at Adrian. boys and girls doubleheader as well. And then Friday on the 21st of February, they'll be here at home against the Liberal, and I think that'll be the final 2 games of the regular season. So we're very excited to be able to do this, and as you said, we really appreciate the sponsorship. And Lakeland's just a great basketball school, and they love their basketball, so we're really thrilled to be able to do them. And you've got competitive teams on both the boys and girls side. And of course, we'll see the boys later tonight, James, and they're 10-1 on the year. They made a deep run, of course, last year in the playoffs and almost got to the semifinal round. They got beat in the quarters, but Coach Collins' team, they return a lot of players off of that squad. Last year, the girls had some graduations, but they actually get several kids back, and Rafe Carbelo having another great season this year for the Lakeland boys.
Absolutely, absolutely. And he's only a junior.
Yeah.
So he will be back again next year as well.
Yeah, and he comes, of course, from a long line of great basketball player. And I know folks around here will know the name Carbelo. They've had several guys. I think Rafe's brother, of course, was an outstanding player, and then their dad was an outstanding player here at Lakeland as well. So, and that's the thing with a small school like Lakeland, though, it makes it so fun is you've got all these guys, and now their kids are playing, and then their kids' kids are playing. So it really passed down the tradition, and a lot of great basketball players, of course, have come through here. That's why I always enjoy talking to Steve Kucha, who's a longtime coach here at Lakeland. He's a historian when it comes to Lakeland basketball. He, of course, used to coach the boys for a lot of years. He's still the head baseball coach here, I think. But if you want to know a lot about basketball in this area, you can talk to him, and he saw several in his day here at this school, of course, that played for him. A lot of those guys, of course, are up on the board behind us, that the 1,000-point scorers, of course. So they've had very good success here over the years, and I think they're excited about how this season will play out, particularly. And once you get to this point in the season, you start thinking about district play, and you're playing for seeding as well. And I think Lakeland has the Osceola tournament still to be played. I think that'll be coming up a little bit later on in the month of February. They usually do that tournament a little bit later.
That tournament actually, I think it starts the 27th, which is the same
week.
Time that the Clinton tournament is going on.
Last week of January, yeah. Yeah, that's always a fun one, that Osceola tournament. Of course, they've been in the Wablo tournament. They've already played in the WeMo tournament as well. So it's going to be exciting basketball, I think, down the stretch here. And you obviously want to be playing your best basketball at this time of the year when everything's kind of flowing and you've had some games under your belt. You've gotten in a lot of practice time. And I think Lakeland's been pretty fortunate where they haven't had a lot of games canceled due to any weather. So weather situation's been pretty good. So that's always a plus.
They've had one, the Drexel game last week, actually. And it's been rescheduled to, I think, Monday.
Oh, okay.
I believe that was rescheduled for Monday.
Okay.
That's one of those that was actually on our schedule.
Yeah, that was going to be the debut there. So are you still planning on covering that?
You know, I don't think we're going to actually be able to make that one just because because of scheduling difficulties.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, that's all that comes into play. Certainly.
Yeah, it does. It does.
No doubt. When you're doing it like we do it here, just to be able to do it kind of as a side gig, it's great to be able to do it, but kind of have to work around some schedules, especially this time of year. So.
Well, last Friday, we were sitting there, we were watching Facebook and, everywhere where you get information, and we packed up our vehicle and we headed towards Drexel.
Yeah.
And about 5 minutes after we left and probably lost internet signal, they canceled the game.
Canceled it. Wow.
So we ended up driving all the way over there to Drexel, pulled in. I'm just like,
oh gosh,
no, something's not right.
Yeah, no game. Yeah.
But as you mentioned earlier, we have to get here so early to get the equipment set up and to run our tests and do all that we had to go, or we were going to miss that window where we could be up in time. But
Yep. Well, yeah, that's what you have to do, and when you're dealing with video type equipment and cameras, and definitely the preparation that goes into it is a little more strenuous, certainly. And we kind of thought that tonight we were going to get postponed with the weather, that what looked like was going to be a little worse when they reported on it last night, but fortunately it didn't turn out to be too bad, so we're able to play here this evening. And also, with tonight being homecoming here at Lakeland, you know, they probably really would have wanted to try and get this game either way. They probably would have played it either way, but I think with it being homecoming, that made them say, hey, if we can, we're going to try to go ahead and play here tonight.
Yeah, I can't confirm any of that information, but, you know, the storm that they predicted actually wasn't as bad as what the news station said. So, you know, thank goodness that we're able to actually have the game. They did cancel school today.
Yeah.
Which was probably the right move. If the weather had been as bad as they said it was going to be, then it was going to be, there wouldn't be any way they're going to have school.
Yeah.
So, hey, I'm going to let you take over for a second, and I'm going to go talk to our producer here and clear up some things and make sure everything was running right, because honestly, we kind of ran in here, set up really quick, and yeah, so I'm just going to step away for a second. We're just going to let you have it.
All right. Sounds good. Well, as James said, fortunate to be able to do the ball games here tonight, and of course the rest of this second part of the season as well, and also spread the word as well, because we'll be right back here on Facebook Live at James Hinkle Sounds Like Video for our next game, which is scheduled for Friday, January 24th. And again, pleased to be bringing you coverage here of Lakeland girls and boys basketball. And the boys game will get going tonight, probably I'd say maybe around 8 o'clock, somewhere in there if everything goes according to plan, maybe a little bit earlier. They are going to do a JV, half of a JV girls game, I think, going to play 2 quarters of a JV girls after this, and then I think they're going to do a full JV boys game before the varsity boys. And I think it's going to be his call whether we'll stream those as well. We might just have it on for you and maybe not have any audio of that. But if not, we'll have a little break in between games, and then we'll be coming back and rejoining you around 7 o'clock, somewhere in there, for the boys game, which will be an interesting matchup. As we were talking, the Lakeland boys last year had a great season, had I think 24, 25 wins, somewhere in there, only had a couple of losses, and lost to a very good team, of course, in that quarterfinal round down there at Bolivar last year. Almost got to the Final Four, and that would have been really amazing, the girls and the boys teams, if they could have both qualified. Of course, the girls were able to make it into the Final Four, but this Lakeland boys team just really, really solid again this year with those core players returning. They're averaging 70 points a game coming into tonight. They're only giving up 48 points, so they're 2-1 on the road. 2-0 at home, but they've got a total season record of 10-1, and that's a situation where they've just played really, really well in conference. And that's not including their conference record, which is the conference tournament record, and that's 6-0. So they've had, again, another good season thus far, but Coach Cooper, they would love to get back there once it comes playoff time and make another run into the playoffs. But Coach Collins, he's just done a great job with the boys program since he's been here, and of course had a lot of success down at Osceola before he came to Lakeland. As we are underway here in the second half, and Lakeland with a 24-22 lead, and another good start here for Lakeland. They force another turnover, their 15th of the night, and they get it right in there to Thompson, and she'll score it. And Madison Thompson starting to fill it up now for Lakeland, as she's got 15 points. And now they get another deflection here, almost a steal, but it's knocked out of bounds, so it's going to be fair play basketball. But these deflections and steals have just been non-stop tonight for Coach Cooper's team. And here's another one, as Thompson missing the shot, but the rebound out to Shoemaker. They'll reset. Madison out high, left corner, and a travel there before the shot, as they're going to get Cordray, who quizzically looks at the official there. And I think Coach Cooper was kind of wondering about that call as well. From here, definitely didn't look like a travel. As we get a whistle here, and are they going to say Thompson went across the boundary? Yep, she did. So they're going to keep it with fair play. They've got to get it full length. In the backcourt, right side, Welsh now. And here's Simpson, who had that big first half for fair play, had 13 for them, knocked down a couple threes, missed the shot there as they had an open look. And that was one of the rare times where they were able to beat the press and actually have a decent look. Here's Thompson going to load up a three, right side, missed it. Lakeland's only hit 1-3 tonight, but they're able to get the rebound, reset. Shoemaker in the corner. Bergsnyder, got to be careful out there with 3 fouls. Thompson also has 3 fouls, and here's Madison. Long 2, no good. Ball tipped out of bounds into the Lakeland bench, and it'll be going back to the Lady Hornets. And now we get another turnover here. Good job by Thompson. That was Page able to knock it off of Simpson. So that'll go down as turnover number 17. Lakeland's going to have it right back. Trying to take advantage of it, but they force that pass a little bit inside. Try to get it into Thompson, and they get the steal out of it. And here's a block. Nice play. Shoemaker on the block. And Thompson clears it out of there. Going to skip it back to Shoemaker in the corner. Kinsey on the drive, good feed. Thompson lost the handle on the way up, and it's going to go out of bounds, but it will be. Yeah, I thought they were going to say that was tipped off fair play, but it's going to be fair play ball. So 26-22, Lakeland the lead. Been a very close game throughout. Lakeland didn't get their first lead till early second quarter. Neither team's led by more than 10. So 2 pretty evenly matched teams, and another steal. 17 turnovers now for fair play, and Shoemaker takes that one away. Cordray for 3, got it, nothing but net. Big shot there. Second 3 for Cordray. She has both threes tonight for Lakeland, and a timeout called by fair play. So that'll make it 29-22, Lakeland on top. 5:22 to go in the third quarter. So tell you what, James, if they start shooting a 3, I think Lakeland could pull away.
Yeah, absolutely. We may have a 3-point shootout here.
Yeah, and it's amazing at the high school level how quickly, if you hit a couple of those threes, that lead can just all of a sudden extend out, and it puts a lot of pressure on the other team. And that's where if Lakeland can keep Thompson and Bergsnyder out of foul trouble and start knocking down some long-range shots, they, I think, will have the advantage, because fair play just hasn't shown that they can consistently take care of the basketball. So they're in a situation where they've just had a lot of possessions that they've thrown away due to all these steals, and that's a good credit to Coach Cooper. He's got this team playing full court pressure in that 2-2-1, and it's really made life tough for fair play thus far.
Well, Lakeland is putting on that full court press. They're not backing down. They're putting all kinds of pressure on, and it's making a difference.
Yeah, and I think when you've got a team that's a little bit smaller like Lakeland is, you want to try to utilize the quickness and not so much the height with that press, and I think that's a good move by Coach Cooper. This time they're able to break the pressure. They get a look here in the corner for Grove, but it's an air ball, and it's going to be tracked down in the corner. Nice hustle there by Shoemaker to get that rebound. Here's Thompson the other way. Lakeland trying to add to the lead.
Well, I was talking to Scott Bernard today about some basketball, and we got on the subject of Jackie Stiles. Now, probably a lot of people will recognize that name.
Oh,
she
yeah.
wasn't very tall either, but
Right.
she was able to use her athleticism and to score points and just be a threat out on the court.
No doubt, yeah. She knew exactly how to create her own shot. No doubt about it, as they get a shot here left baseline, and it falls for Welsh. So Kyler Welsh able to knock one down, and that'll make it 29-24. So fair play despite the turnover problem. They've hung right in this game. 4:25 left in the third quarter. Shoemaker to Thompson left corner, dribble drive there. Ooh, Bergsnyder passed up the open look. Back to Madison, shot up, missed, rebound, tip. Nice play there by Bergsnyder. Almost able to get it back, but knocks it out. Fair play with possession.
No fouls yet either.
Yeah, kind of weird. We've had no fouls here in the second half, and as we were saying, we had no timeouts. Well, I think maybe we had one, actually, now that I think fair play did take one in that first half, but certainly not many stoppages at all in this game. Officials
nice steal.
Yeah, nice play by Thompson there to get that steal. That's Paige Thompson, and she'll be going to the line. Be able to draw that foul. So that is our first foul here in the second half, and they're going to give it to number 15 for the Lady Hornets, that being Simona Kaduka. And the first free throw, no good for Paige Thompson. So still 29-24 in favor of the Lady Vikings here with 4:07 left in the third quarter. Second free throw is good for Paige Thompson. And now a steal. Cordray gets it to Thompson, and she'll score it.
Well, there's that pressure that we were talking about earlier. I mean, that is making a huge difference. And that's 2 points right there, or 4 points right there, just off of that pressure. And once again, more pressure, and this could potentially lead to more points.
Yeah, they had a 2-on-1 there, but a good job initially to get the tip. Simpson got back and tipped it, but a foul is still going to be called here on Fair Play. But yeah, Lakeland's done a great job of not only getting the turnovers but turning them into points. They've made Fair Play pay as they've scored on over half of the turnovers tonight. Thompson will be shooting 2, and she gets the first. So we've got a 5-point swing here in about a minute as it's 33-24. Second one no good, but there's Madison Thompson with the rebound using that size and missed the putback. Got it back, though, a second time and then has it knocked out. So it's going to be, I believe, off of Fair Play. Yeah, it's going to be Lakeland basketball here. Shoemaker to throw it in. Maddie with a shot in the corner, and she nails it. Madison Thompson showing that range from way outside. Third three tonight for Lakeland, and it's 36-24. Largest lead of the game now for the Lady Vikings. And a timeout now called by Fair Play. So this will be their first team timeout here in the second half. And you can feel, James, momentum starting to swing right now, and it's all in favor of Lakeland.
Yeah. Well, you know, there is a lot of excitement in the building. This is their homecoming. We'll mention that we're going to go ahead and we're going to live stream the JV games as well, because they're sandwiched between the two varsity games. Of course, before the boys start, they will do the coronation, the crowning of the king and queen. They do a king and queen here, right? Or is it just?
I would assume so.
I would assume so too.
Are we streaming that? I believe. Are you going to go ahead and stream that?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and
we
stream
will.
that.
Yes,
yeah.
we will stream the crowning as well. So there's a lot of excitement here, and I know there was a lot of chatter online. It's like, you know, are they going to have homecoming? Are they going to have homecoming? So a lot of people were excited about this.
And again, we want to thank Primitive Oldie Crow, Oak Star Bank, the Landmark Restaurant, and Jim Resick as well. Also want to thank Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, C Squared, and Hobby Time Motorsports, and also Bernard Tax and Bookkeeping for sponsoring our coverage here of Lakeland basketball. So the timeout has been established for Fair Play. Now they're going to go ahead and try to get it in here against this pressure. They have not backed off of it the entire night. They're able to break it this time, and they've got to get Simpson going. She's had a quiet second half. They get it into her, though, inside, and gets the shot up and in there. So big shot for Fair Play to snap what was a 7-0 run for Lakeland, and it's 36-26. Still a lot of time left. Lakeland's got to keep the foot down on the gas pedal as they try to get it inside there to Thompson, and it's stolen away. And it doesn't take much. Fair Play gets a couple steals, and they come down and hit a couple threes. It's a new ball game.
You know, Fair Play has been hitting a lot of those 3 points shots, and if they continue to do that, that 10-point lead could disappear very quickly. And here was another 3-point, and it is unsuccessful.
Yeah, Grove missed it, but they get the follow. Nobody boxed out inside, and McDougal able to slip in there and get the putback. So that'll make it 36-28. And Fair Play a little momentum now out of that timeout a moment ago that they took. And now Thompson has it stripped away on the way up for the shot. So good defensive play by the Lady Hornets, and they'll bring it back. Trying to cut into the deficit even further here. Oh, but they lose the ball out of bounds. That's going off the foot of Welsh. And here's where I think, James, by the fourth quarter, we may see a situation where Fair Play just kind of runs out of gas, because this pressure has been just relentless for Lakeland. And sometimes, you know, that's what a pressing team that presses the whole game wants to do. By that fourth quarter, they're going to test whether you're in shape or not. As Thompson inside puts it up and gets it to go. And you can do that right there, I think, all night. I mean, Thompson, nobody can guard her right now. She's got 17 points, and it's 38-28 in favor of Lakeland. Quick shot there for Fair Play. They hurried that possession, and Cordray comes out of there with the rebound. So Lakeland trying to pad this lead a little bit as we come to the end of the third quarter. Cordray missing the 3 ball. Bergsnyder back up with it, falling backwards. That was a tough shot, missed it. And Bergsnyder and Thompson have both done a good job of also staying out of foul trouble. Their minutes were limited a little. Well, I jinxed Madison Thompson there, James. I spoke too soon. Literally right as I said that, she gets a foul, or did they call that on Paige Thompson and not Madison?
It's number 21.
Well, yeah, they did call it on Madison. So she's going to have to come out, and that'll be her 4th. So up until that point, she's done a good job of staying out of foul trouble. So that'll have her minutes limited, but she'll probably be coming back in pretty quick. And now out of bounds off the missed 3 there. It's going to stay with fair play. So 1:25 to go in the third. Fair play looking for some movement here. Boy, that's almost a 5 count on the inbounds.
Yeah, I thought he was going to call that on
I
her.
did too. That official was pretty generous there not to call that, but it works out in Lakeland's favor as another turnover for fair play. So they've turned it over 18 times tonight, but somehow they're still right in this game, 38-28. You don't see that stat very often where it's that big of a disparity, but sometimes the stats don't always tell the whole story. Here's Wilkins, open shot, gets it, or no, that's Frost rather. So Brett Frost knocking one down. That's a big shot. That gets it to 40-28 in favor of Lakeland.
And once again, we're seeing this full court press.
Able to get it across. Simpson in the lane. Out to Welsh, down to 50 seconds left. Here in the third, Welsh is going nowhere there with the dribble, but she gets bailed out as they call a foul up top. They're going to get a blocking foul here on the Lady Vikings. And they're going to give that one to McKenna Wilkins. That's her first team foul 5 on Lakeland. Here's a tip into the backcourt. Nice play by Frost. Almost double dribbled, but maintains it. Misses the shot, though. Rebound fought for. Oh, and there's a collision as Frost undercuts Kaduka. And foul's going to be coming up here on Brett Frost. So that'll be team foul 6. Frost picks up her first. 30 seconds to go here in the third. Simpson in the backcourt with it. Welsh now having a tough time, and a foul is called. Getting very close there to a 10-second on the dribble up the floor. They almost had the trap. Foul is called, though, and that's going to get fair play into the bonus. They're going to give that foul to McKenna Wilkins. Her second is going to send Welsh to the line. So 20 seconds left here in the third, and Welsh shooting a 1-and-1 with Lakeland on top here. Have not had a lot of free throws tonight. Neither team has shot very many at all. And missing the front end of it, goes out of bounds, and it's back over to Lakeland. So Lakeland now a chance for the final shot of the third quarter.
18 seconds left.
So you do have a little bit of cushion here. Don't want to hurry. Well, Bergsnyder called for the travel there. Shot faked, and when she did, she slid the pivot foot. And now it'll be fair play ball here, final 13.5. Call going to come back in for Coach Cooper's team. They get it across midcourt, but a bad pass, stolen away. Frost has got time, got 3, drives it. Out
1
to
second
Cordray.
left.
Good if it goes.
Oh.
But yeah, just wide left. Would have
Yeah.
counted had it gone in, but just wide left as we go to the fourth quarter. But Lakeland has a little bit of a cushion here. 40-28. Had a nice start to that third quarter, James. Pushed it out a little bit. And I think you keep Thompson on the floor. That's one of the keys. You got to have her offense out there. She's had another big ball game, 19 points to lead all scorers.
I tell you what, she's having a great game, and she's fun to watch. She really is.
She is, yeah. Yeah, just one of those nice high school players that is good inside and out, handles the ball well, doesn't turn it over much. Good free throw shooter, can shoot the 3 with the side. And, you know, most nights she's one of the tallest players on the floor. And, you know, she's one of those players that can take advantage of that. And and do a lot of different things, and also handles the ball well. So it's nice to have a player with that height that can handle the ball like a guard, but can also go inside and score. And
have you been in this gym since they remodeled it?
well, I don't know when they remodeled it, so I don't.
I'm thinking
It looks the same as when I've been in it, which was last year. So since last year.
Well, I know I wasn't over here last year. Maybe it was the year before that, but this is
Yeah.
my first time in the gym since it has been remodeled, and I must say I like it.
Yeah, it seemed like they may have had a new floor put in maybe a couple years ago, but it definitely has the basketball feel. The fans are right down on top of you as well. There's a quick three here to start the fourth, rattling out for Simpson. So she just hasn't been able to get going for Fair Play in the second half. They had 14 points from her in the first half, but only 2 here in the second. And Fair Play has not had a lead here in the second quarter as well. And there's Madison Thompson right back into the game. Got to be careful, though, with the 4 fouls, but that'll get her to 21 points here tonight. And it's 42-28. Lakeland pushing the lead out. So Lakeland trying to get their 6th win of the season if they're able to hang on here tonight. I believe, I think they were 5-7 coming into tonight. So
I believe that's right.
yeah, right around the 500 mark. So that'll get them one more game back to 500 if they're able to hang on here in the final 8 minutes.
Just a quick reminder, the 27th, Lakeland boys and girls will be competing in the Clinton basketball tournament, which we will be covering on video right here on Sounds Like Videos.
Very excited about that, and that's we're doing full coverage of the Clinton tournament, and very happy to have Lakeland in that as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they do. There's certainly some bigger schools in that tournament than they're used to playing, but it'll be good competition for them for sure.
Well, it's definitely going to challenge the boys' team. I mean,
Yes, definitely.
They're good. There's no doubt about that. But they will be facing some competition that they normally don't see.
Right. Yeah,
So-
that's the thing, and I think Coach Collins definitely wants that. You know, that's a good tournament for them to be in, especially this time of the year, to kind of get you ready for districts. Because, I mean, Lakeland, they're obviously usually playing Class 1 and Class 2 schools, but you're going to see, a couple threes, maybe a 4 in there, depending on how it all shakes out.
Well, I was talking to the Clinton girls coach about that because the girls in Clinton have played so many good teams. He was saying, we're about a little over 500, but we played so many good teams that when we finally get into districts, we're going to be so much better because they're just so used to the tougher competition.
Oh, and there's a violation. Yeah, she tried to sneak back in there.
Yeah, that didn't quite work.
Yeah, she thought nobody was looking, but unfortunately there was an official looking. So
yeah, she had a big smile on her
Yeah.
face too. I don't know if you could see that on the video or not, but
Yeah,
she knew she was trying to get away with one.
Yeah, so down to 6 minutes here. 42-28, Lakeland hanging on to the lead. Bergschneider trying to add 2 more, but that misses.
Oh, wow. It looks like their heads collided.
Yeah, a little collision there on the baseline. I think they're going to say fair play ball here, and they will. So we get a timeout on the floor. Looks like Lakeland going to take one here. Be a 30.
While we're at timeout, just want to thank Farm Bureau in Clinton, Aaron Collins, for sponsoring our timeouts. I wish we'd had a few more timeouts to talk about, old Aaron, but
Hey, well,
the first quarter, but there wasn't any.
Yeah, we appreciate Aaron coming on board, and certainly, as you mentioned, the brother of head coach here at Lakeland.
Yeah. Aaron and Adam both from Osceola. In fact, Adam was the coach at Osceola at one point in time.
Yeah, I was talking about that earlier, and Adam had great success down there at Osceola. I mean, he had some outstanding talent down there as well, and of course came up to Lakeland a few years ago. He's the head principal here, or at least was. I think he still is.
He is. He's still there.
And he did not coach the high school boys team his first year but then kind of missed it a little bit and got back into it. Coach Janke, who was here that first year Coach Collins was here, actually took a job down at Skyline, and so Coach Collins stepped right in, and boy, he's had some good groups here at Lakeland his first couple years as the head coach, for sure. It's very similar to those Osceola teams that he had as well. As Thompson missing the shot there, but Paige Thompson tracks down the rebound. And are Paige and Madison sisters? I would assume they are, but
I don't. You know what? I can't say for sure.
Okay, maybe cousin. We'll have to find that out.
That's not uncommon that cousins play on the same team.
Right. Yeah, I saw that for many years down there at Osceola with all of the Selfs.
Oh yeah.
They had several of those, and of course the Carneys as well. And
well, Adam had a lot of. Well, he had Selfs and Carneys on that winning run that they had, where they won districts a few years back. I was actually at that game in Windsor when Osceola won the district championship.
Yeah, those teams were very, very close. They ran into Windsor, I think, a couple years. Skyline got them a couple years as well, as we get a foul here on Bergschneider at midcourt. So that team, you know, similar to last year's Lakeland boys team, they were just one win away. They were just that close. But, and obviously, once you get into the playoffs and you get deep into district, you know, competition is going to pick up. But I think this Lakeland boys team, they've got all the pieces back this year, I think, to be able to be involved in a postseason run again. And I would imagine we'll have to look next week when we get into some of our other games here that we're doing, but we'll definitely look at the brackets for districts and kind of see what district they're going to be in. But I would imagine with their record, at least so far, they would figure to be a top seed in their district. As the rebound there off the missed free throw to Bergschneider. So Fair Play just has not been able to mount any kind of a sustained run here in the second half. And there's Thompson down the lane, missing a good look, almost got it back. Megan Call able to get the follow out to Bergschneider. And a nice job by Shoemaker on the rebound. Nobody boxed her out, and she just flew in there to get the stick back. So 46-29, all Lakeland here with 4:20 left in the ball game.
Well, I'm curious how they're going to rank Lakeland in the Clinton tournament. Now, Lakeland they've only got one loss.
Right.
But they're playing. They're going to be playing in the same tournament with I do believe it's Grandview Christian, who I talked to the coach last week, and at that time they'd already played like 12 games and had maybe 2 losses or 3 losses or something like that. So, I'm curious how they're gonna bracket them, because we've got some teams that quite honestly have played a lot more games.
Right. Yeah, that will be interesting to see where that seeding shakes out. We just saw Thompson knock down another one, so that'll give her 25 on the night. 48-29 the lead, and there's a 10-second. Yeah, they were getting very close to getting one of those earlier, and finally they called it. But Fair Play just has not been able to overcome this pressure. They've turned it over 25 times tonight, so very hard to win too many games, James, when you turn it over that much.
Oh, yeah.
But Lakeland has been able to take advantage, push the lead out here in the second half to double figures. Here's Cordray on the 3-ball, rattles it out, and we're going to get a foul underneath here coming up on Lakeland, it looks like. We'll see who this one is on. Oh, they gave it to Bergschneider, so unfortunately that's her 5th. So she's going to have to come out, but still had a good ball game. It only had a couple points, but did have a couple steals as well. So her night is finished, and they will go to the line here. It's going to be a bonus at the other end for Fair Play with 3:34 left. And as James mentioned, we will be streaming the JV games here in between, and then we'll be back on for the boys as well, of course, on the nightcap and the crowning ceremony as well. So if we stay on schedule, I'd say that boys game will probably get going maybe around 7:30, 8 o'clock, somewhere in there. It's going to be 2 quarters of a JV girls game, and then I think they're going to play a full JV boys game. And did you say the crowning is before or after?
It's before the boys game.
Okay, yeah, so it's probably going to be closer to 8:30 before they start that varsity boys game, I would imagine. The foul inside. Good look in there for Brett Frost. She'll go to the line. 3:08 left in the ball game.
Just for information for those that will be watching, we will, after the JV game was over, we'll cut, and then when they start the ceremony for the crowning, we'll go live again, and then we'll probably cut and then go live right before the boys' game gets started as well. So just for all those that are watching at home that couldn't make it, that's kind of our schedule. Of course, that all has changed. It seems minute to minute. I know I got an email from Coach Cooper yesterday letting me know that they changed the times.
Yeah, they'll do that on you with the way they have these double headers, and it's a situation. And the reason they do that is just simply because they don't always know if they're playing any JV or not. Some nights they'll just do 2 varsity, but usually they're playing teams that have enough to do at least some JV, and that definitely messes with the schedule. So like tonight, they go ahead and start the varsity early at 5. Some nights they'll start it at 6.
Yeah,
and do the JV before, so you really never know until the day of these games, certainly. But
well, I'm going to guess that they're going to let the varsity girls play first, so then go back in and get showered up and get ready for the ceremonies later on.
And we appreciate Coach Cooper as well. He's the athletic director here at Lakeland and done an outstanding job, and appreciate him helping us out as well with the rosters and the stats. So the Lady Vikings on their way here, barring a major collapse, to their 6th win and get them to 6-7 on the year. At a steal this time, they bring it up the other way. Welsh in the corner with it.
You know, even though they're this far ahead, they're still putting the pressure on. They're not letting up. I mean,
So
that's what's led them to or gave them the lead in the first place. So stick with it.
Welsh to the line here for, I think this is double bonus now. Yeah, 10 team fouls on Lakeland, so 2 shots for Welsh. And she misses the first. She's got 5 tonight for Fair Play.
You know, this is an early game, but if you look around, well, we'll pan the cameras around here in a minute. This auditorium is already full. There's just a few spots where there's some open seats. So, kudos to this community. And, of course, it's always been a tight-knit community, a basketball community. So these people have really showed up to support their Vikings.
So 19-point game here with 2 minutes left in it as a deflection is knocked out by Grove. So Lakeland will maintain possession, but another huge night for Madison Thompson, 27 points, and that's unofficial as well. She may have a few more, but she's had a great night. Is going to draw the foul as well, and has also had to play through some foul trouble tonight. She picked up 3 in the first half, picked up 1 here in the second, so has 4, but has stayed on the floor for most of the second half, and that'll give her 28 as she knocks down the first to make it a 20-point lead. And the second one good as well, so Thompson with 29. And a timeout called here by Lakeland with 1:54 to go. And we want to thank Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance agent Aaron Collins, our timeout sponsor. Here on James Hinkle Sounds Like Video, our Facebook Live coverage. And again, as James said, share it, spread the word, and we're going to be doing some more Lakeland games coming up here in the month of January and into February as well. Next game for the Vikings and Lady Vikings will be that rescheduled game that James was talking about on the 20th at Drexel, but I don't think we're going to have coverage of that due to scheduling conflict. And then our next game will be on the 21st, so that's next Friday night up at Appleton City.
We'll have Friday night, and then Monday night we will start. No, that's a week later that we'll actually start the Clinton tournament.
Yeah, I think that Clinton tournament is the last week in January, and very excited for that, with Lakeland competing in it. Here's a 3 from Simpson, and it's way off the mark. So Fair Play definitely cooled off in the second half. They did not hit a single 3 here in the second half after hitting 5 in the first half.
Yeah.
Simpson had 3 of them, and that was a big reason why Lakeland was able to slowly pull away. You combine the lack of shooting and also the outstanding defensive pressure that Lakeland had, and they were really able to put this ball game away midway third quarter, because it was still a single-digit game early in the third quarter, but it's been double digits most of the rest of the way. 21 right now as Shoemaker will be throwing it in here for Lakeland.
Well, you mentioned earlier that if Lakeland keeps on putting the pressure on, will they run out of gas? Not Lakeland, but Fair Play. And it looks like, even though they're still playing hard and they're definitely putting in a lot of effort, that full court press has definitely had a toll.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. And that is indicative of why they haven't shot it so well, because when you're tired and you've got those tired legs out there, it's a lot harder to shoot the basketball, particularly from 3. And that's where that press just slowly is able to wear you down. And that's why coaches that play that style, they get them conditioned up in preseason. And they say, all right, we're going to play like this, but we've got to be in shape. It comes down to, are you more in shape sometimes than the other team? And Lakeland definitely was tonight, as we're under a minute left in the ball game. So a nice win here tonight for the Lady Vikings on homecoming night. In a non-conference game, they'll be back into conference, of course, against Drexel in their next one next week, as Thompson gets 2 more, so that'll give her 31 and get the lead to 23. And we get a timeout here for substitution, I think. So good job by Coach Cooper, just letting Thompson get a breather here at the end and get McKenna Wilkins in. And Wilkins gets a steal here. Going to have a shot at a layup. Oh, and a major travel.
Yeah, she traveled.
Yeah, she took about 5 steps there, so easy call for the official.
Well, what grade is she in? Is she one of the freshmen that's playing?
I think so. I think McKenna is a freshman. So she's going to have, and she's had a lot of minutes tonight as well. Her and Frost have had some good minutes tonight off the bench for this Lakeland team. This Lakeland team, they're not quite as deep, I think, as last year's team, but they'll go, 3 or 4 deep on the bench. 15 seconds to go here. Welsh outside. Dribbled it off of her foot. Here's a 3 from Simpson, missed it, and rebound to Paige Thompson, and that'll do it here as she'll put it up. But the Lakeland Lady Vikings get a nice victory here. They had to battle their way back, really trailed most of the first half, but took command about midway third quarter, and then it was all Lakeland after that as they win it big tonight by 23, 53-30, behind the 32 points from Madison Thompson. Paige Thompson had 6, Berg Schneider with 5, and Cordray with 6. So those were your top scorers here tonight for the Lakeland Lady Vikings, and just a great all-around win for Coach Cooper's team, and we really enjoyed bringing it to you. As we're going to go ahead and stay on here. I think they're going to go ahead and do 2 quarters of the JV girls, then they'll have a JV boys game for you, and then the varsity boys will be coming up after that. But we're going to go ahead and stay with you here, and I think James will tell you a little bit about it here, and I'll go ahead and sign off, and I'll be back for the varsity boys game, which will be later tonight, probably around, I'd say 7:30, depending on how far this one goes, or the other 2 go, maybe 8 o'clock, somewhere in there. So enjoyed it, and again, good victory there for the Lady Vikings over Fair Play, 53-30.
Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Of course, like and share this as much as possible. Just want to mention also that this is live streaming on the Sounds Like Videos Facebook page and also the YouTube channel. But we're also live streaming this same game to C Squared Embroidery and Screen Printing, Primitive Old Crow, and then also the Landmark. So, and then also Radford Media Group. So here we are with the start of the JV girls game. They're only going to do 2 quarters. So we're going to get Spencer back on here. I mean, they just did not waste any time jumping between the 2 games here. So
Yeah, they go right at it, especially when you got a full slate. You know, they go ahead and get it going pretty quick. So these 2 quarters should move along pretty well, I think. They may only, well, are they doing 8? No, I think they're doing, well, I think they are going to go ahead and do 2 8. Sometimes they do 2 6.
Yeah, it's 7-minute quarters.
7, okay.
Yeah, 7-minute
so
quarters.
they do go ahead and do pretty much a full varsity quarter, which is 8. But it, you know, just gives these kids some more experience and lets them play. And as we were talking about in the varsity game, James, you know, you don't always get to have any JV action. You know, some of these smaller schools, you know, just don't have enough kids a lot of times. So it's a tough situation because you don't always get the time in for the younger kids. So it's nice tonight to be able to at least have a little bit of JV action for them.
You know, a lot of the games that we have on the schedule, that's all it is the varsity that's playing. So,
well, it'll show varsity, but sometimes they will. You know, that's where we were saying they will go ahead and do that sometimes after the fact because you just don't always know. But it will always be at least 2 varsity games. The only thing is the times can fluctuate, so you'll have to post that, I guess, or stay. That'll give you something else to worry about, I guess, to put it up on the Facebook or however you want to do that. But that's just the way it is when you do these Class 1 games with a flexible schedule.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is kind of a little treat for us and also for the community that usually the junior varsity games don't get covered on, definitely not on radio and usually not on video coverage. But we're going to go ahead and roll with this.
Bonus coverage.
Exactly. So
Bonus.
a little extra for our sponsors there.
Sure.
Can't say enough good things about them because,
Yeah.
you know, for those who were watching, you know, at the Wobble-O tournament, we had no sponsors. There no sponsors at all. We just showed up. We're just like, okay, we got a lot of demand for this, so we're just going to do it. So, and in that short period of time, all these sponsors have come on board and really helped us out, pays for our gas. And I will also say that if it wasn't for the sponsors, Spencer wouldn't be here. Now, Spencer's a pro. There's no doubt about that.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, he's also humble.
Wouldn't go that far, yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, though. It's exciting stuff, though.
Well, I know you and I have had numerous conversations about broadcast and doing all this, and I've told you many times that you're one of my favorite guys to listen to because no matter what, and we've been in some games that we broadcast that just were they were very one-sided. You still make it interesting.
Hey, that's definitely the pride you have to take in it, and as I say to some people, James, as well, you know, sometimes those are the hardest games to do, you know, when it's a blowout, particularly when you're on radio, but it's still fun. You got to find ways to make it interesting, and I enjoy doing that for sure. And I really appreciate those kind words as well.
Well.
Too kind.
Well, we appreciate you being here, especially since, you know, I don't have to call the game all by myself.
Yeah, well, the fact is, I mean, this is a first-rate operation in terms of the time you put in, the amount of equipment you have, and it's something that, you know, the modern technology has allowed us now to be able to bring video to high school sports. And, you know, even 5 years ago, that really wasn't that possible. But now, you know, me and you will show up to a game, and everybody's got the laptop and they've got the latest, you know, they're putting it on video. And so now it's a situation where people almost expect to be able to watch it online. And, you know, it's just great for a lot of the family and the parents that are out of state that, you know, don't always get to see these games. You know, it's allowed the high school level, you know, the ability to have that coverage. So,
you know, you bring up a good point. After we did the Wobble-O game, I had several people message me on Facebook. Also, several people send emails just saying, "Hey, thanks, man. I'm over here in Iowa or wherever it was.
Yeah.
And I can't see my brother play. I got a sister that's playing on the girls' team. Several of those, and I appreciate that so much. That's what keeps me coming back. It keeps me motivated. Is that strong sense of community that extends, outside of high school. That's one of the things I really like about the smaller schools and covering, like, Lakeland, and hopefully we'll do some Osceola, Montrose. I know Montrose girls, I don't know if we keep an eye on them, but it just came out this week. They are ranked in the top 10.
Wow. Yeah, so it sounds like they're back to where they've been. I know, Montrose, of course, has had a great tradition over the years in girls basketball, so that's really good to hear. Yeah.
Leeton is also ranked. The Leeton girls are also ranked.
Yeah, Leeton is usually very competitive every year. So, yeah, that's really good to see. And there is, like you said, a lot of good area teams in the West Central Missouri area. The WeMo Conference is always usually pretty competitive. So it sounds like some of those teams that had been down, the last few years. I know Montrose had kind of gone through a stretch there where they weren't as good, but, sometimes with smaller schools where basketball is in the blood, they really can get it turned around, and it doesn't take much, when you've got a couple key players at some of those small schools. I know some people may remember the name Morgan I. She played at Montrose, ended up playing at the University of Missouri, and was an absolute, dominant player. You can imagine a Division I level player that she was, how good she was at the 1A level. She was just flat out dominant. So they've had a lot of players over the years over there at Montrose that have gone on and played some college ball.
Now, was she on the team that actually won state?
Morgan I don't know about that. I don't know if that team or one of those teams ever won state or not. I'd have to go back and look that up. But
it's been a few years, but they won state at one point in time.
Well, she may have been, actually, because that hadn't been – well, it's been probably, I want to say, maybe 8 or 9 years ago when she played over there, maybe a little bit longer. So I'm not quite sure when she graduated, but she was just exceptional. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of those teams that did win state over there. But a lot of talent in that area.
Probably one of our listeners know. If you do know if she played on that championship team or not, go ahead and post that in the comments below and share that information. It's hard to keep up with all these schools. So while we're speaking about posting, if you will do us a favor and go ahead and share and like, the more that you do that, the more opportunity the people who can't make it to the games can see. And I know that there's, especially lately, I've got a lot of messages from family members of players saying, thank you for broadcasting this. Those games reach out to them because you guys share and like it. So,
I'll be able to tell you here, James, in just a moment about Morgan I. Yeah, she was played at Mizzou. I was hoping for a bio here. I'll get that here in just a second. Again, this is a JV game here, just 2 quarters, and it's a 4-2 lead right now for Lakeland. But you got a few girls out there that played some in the varsity game. McKenna Wilkins is out there, Megan Call out there as well.
Well, they got to be tired because they played a full game.
They sure did.
So, for a JV game, they're playing with a lot of speed out there. Usually the younger teams a little bit slower, but they're playing at just the same pace as the varsity girls. So he's still flipping through his phone. He's got to find out if.
Yeah, it's not giving me the bio but she was born in 1992. So if you do the math, that's probably 08, somewhere around there when she probably graduated from Montrose. I would imagine.
Oh, that was in and out there.
So probably 2011. I want to say it'd be 2010, 2011, somewhere in there because I graduated in 08, born in 90. So she would have been, 2 years.
Well, I'm not going to tell you when I graduated. I don't want to date myself.
So somewhere in that time frame, when she was probably a senior there, 2010, 2011, and again, I don't know if they had won state on any of those teams, but she was a 4-year starter, I'm pretty sure, up at Mizzou. So played a lot of minutes. Wasn't like she went up there and was on the bench. She was a big contributor up there for sure.
unfortunately, I never got an opportunity to see her play.
Yeah, she was only 5'9", but was one of those players that kind of similar to Jackie Stiles type in that she was not real tall, but she could create her own shot, was good moving without the basketball, good defensive player. I'm not obviously comparing her to Jackie Stiles. I'm just saying that, she was, not the biggest player, but was able to still get her shot off and still handle the ball extremely well.
Well, she knocks down both of those buckets there. Giving Lakeland and a steal, and then, wow.
Yeah, that's McKenna Wilkins, and she played some there in that varsity game, and 2 more for her. So Lakeland putting it on them here in this JV matchup, 11-2.
Yeah. How good do you think she's going to be when she gets to be a senior and already playing at this level?
I think she'll continue to improve, and I think that's another situation where it's always great to be able to get extra time. In the JV game, it's kind of like a laboratory. You get to experiment with different things and just go out there and play, and you don't have as much pressure. But it's a big advantage for somebody like McKenna who, has some varsity minutes and gets to play some extra time. So it's just a situation where you can only improve. So it's really beneficial. But I think she'll continue to get better, and definitely is a player that is going to be a guard for him. So she'll be able to work on her ball handling and also her ability to get that shot off.
Yeah. Well, she definitely contributed in the varsity game, but, as a JV player, she is definitely a leader out there. You can just tell with her enthusiasm. And wow, that was a 3-pointer.
Yeah, that's Brett Frost. She played, of course, in that varsity game quite a bit and nails one there. And I think you see out there for Fair Play, they don't have as many players that played in the varsity game, so they do have more younger kids, I think, than Lakeland. They've got a few more kids on their bench, so they can put out pretty much a new 5 out there that are probably freshmen and sophomores.
They did not announce the players. Did you have the roster there?
Yeah.
While we're just going through the JV, why don't we go ahead and give all these players some recognition?
Yeah, Frost again able to knock that shot down a moment ago. So all Lakeland at 16-2 here.
Okay, I know that's.
You want the full roster? No, that is the full roster there, I think. James.
Well, that's varsity.
Oh.
So I didn't know if we had.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should have the other kids on there as well. See if we get some of these. Yeah, I think Delilah Miller is out there, so she did not play any in the varsity game. And she is a freshman. And then also Ainsley West, another freshman out there. And then looks like 11, which is Zoe Rife. I don't know if that's how you say that or not, R-I-F-E.
I believe that's how you say it.
Rife, yeah, Zoe is out there, so she's a sophomore. So they've got 3 kids out there that didn't play any varsity time. But we saw a little bit of Wilkins and Call as well. And really Wilkins had a lot of minutes. I mean, she probably played, I'd say maybe 15 to 20, somewhere in there off the bench.
Yeah, she was out there a lot.
And as you said, I mean, this will test your conditioning a little bit for some of those younger kids that played a lot of varsity minutes.
Well, none of these girls that are on the court now that played in the varsity game, it doesn't look like they've slowed down any.
No, not at all. And this Lakeland team, and we were kind of talking about it in the first game, I mean, they have a lot of young players. I mean, they've got 4 sophomores, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 freshmen, and no seniors. So your most experienced player is Madison Thompson as a junior. And, of course, Madison started varsity as a freshman. So she was that talented. And I remember her freshman year was already averaging I'd say she probably averaged somewhere around 15 that first year. So she's already played 3 years of varsity. So she's basically like a senior out there. Yeah. For this Lakeland team. But, yeah, I mean, that's as young as you are going to get. I mean, for a high school team, that's a lot of young players. Yeah. Usually you have at least 1 senior. I mean, that's very rare not to have any seniors at all. But sometimes at these smaller schools, just the situation you're in.
Yeah. No seniors, and they're still winning.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and that speaks highly, certainly, of Coach Cooper as well, to be able to keep the program going, because sometimes a lot of programs that go through a stretch where they win a lot have to kind of take their lumps. You know, you go through those cycles sometimes where you're maybe not as competitive, but Lakeland has stayed very competitive here.
Well, Fair Play only has 4 points, and I'll just point out that all of their points actually came from the foul line.
Yeah, they did not get, and they really didn't get any attempts off either. I mean, the defense was very, very good for Lakeland. So that wraps up the 2 quarters of the JV girls, and we're going to have, of course, the JV boys game coming up here as well, and that'll be a full 4 quarters. Looks like they're going to do 12 minutes, I think, in between here.
Yeah, it looks like if that's the case,
Yeah,
if they're gonna take 12 minutes, we'll probably shut down the broadcast and then come back again.
That sounds good. Yep.
That way, that'll give us a chance to run to the restroom and maybe grab a drink. I wasn't able to get to the concession stand and grab us some water, so we'll need to do that. I don't know if Stacy's running the graphics at the end or not. Sounds like she just gave me a head nod. So we want to appreciate. Yeah, we want to appreciate all our sponsors there. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. Appreciate them a lot. I don't have the sponsor list right here in front of me. Where are we at?
Sponsor list.
Tons of papers here. Well, I know that.
There we go. Right there.
That's the Landmark Restaurant. I just seen Jim. Yeah. I just seen Jim Carbelow walk in the back. He's actually, I don't know if he's running the scoreboard or if he's taking stats. He's been doing that for several years. Anyway, Jim Rasick actually come on board this morning. Got a chance to have a conversation with him. Oak Star Bank, they're actually building a brand new bank in Clinton, right at the intersection of Highway 7 and 13, across the street from the hospital. And then Pivotal Crow. Now, they are going to have a bridal show on the 8th, I believe that is, of February. We're actually going to be attending that. So if there are any ladies out there or gentlemen that are going to get married or getting married or engaged, show up to them. Yeah. That will be 11 to 3 o'clock. So, yeah, the Primitive Crow, they've just finished building a wedding barn out there. It looks old, it looks rustic, but it's brand new. So, great facility. So, of course, we want to thank Missouri Farm Bureau for being our timeout sponsor for all this. And then we're streaming on C-Squared, embroidery, and screen printing. Primitive Old Crow, as I've mentioned. We're also streaming on the Landmark. That's Jim Carbelow's restaurant, the Landmark Restaurant. Of course, Sounds Like Video, Facebook and YouTube. And then also Radford Media Group. That's actually Katie's YouTube page. So that's something that we're trying to build up, some followers on their YouTube page. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching. We are going to take about 10 minutes here and grab some drinks, some water, and then we will be right back with the JV boys.